Oh, that sun is like right in my face. Good morning, my fellow self-care homies. I'm Asher, and welcome to my channel, Homebrew Healing, and the 10th installment of the CBT series that I'm writing. So, I hate today's card. Today's card. Today's card is emotional reasoning. I hate it. I feel very attacked. So we've chatted a little bit in previous sessions about sort of the thought-feeling correlation and, how our thoughts can really impact our perceptions, our worldview, and subsequently our feelings, our emotional responses to those perceptions. And the power that reframing those thoughts can actually have on reframing our emotional reactions and responses as well. So today we're talking about the opposite, how certain feelings can impact our thought process. And I hate today's card. I hate it. Because I do this. I do this. Especially with the level of anxiety that I have. I tend to do what's called catastrophizing, which is a cognitive distortion, also known as like an inaccurate, incomplete, like false sort of thought pattern or process. Catastrophizing is kind of the name is a little self-explanatory. The idea is that you kind of assume that the worst case scenario is going to happen, right? So the way that I catastrophize is, I will have anxiety about something, especially with respect to relationships, due to some previous relationship experiences that I've had going back to childhood. I would like to point out I have some abandonment and rejection issues. So when I encounter new people, there is this tendency to have an internal kind of panic because I get into an emotional state where I sort of assume that because I've been rejected and abandoned before, that it's going to happen again. And my response, of course, to that feeling, that fear, is to absolutely panic and run before the other person can leave me. You can't reject me if I leave first, right? So that is an example of emotional reasoning where I'm kind of assuming or applying a prior emotional experience to a new encounter, whether or not that new encounter or person or situation has given any indication that there are any similarities between them or that situation and the prior triggering one that is inciting the internal panic. So I am going a little off the rails as far as our card of the day because I'm getting into trauma and triggers and patterns. This was just the biggest example, or the I guess most relevant recent example in my life that I could kind of come up with for emotional reasoning. But the idea here is you will have, a fear or a concern or, maybe even a hope or a desire, and that feeling will then trigger certain emotions. Nope. I just said feeling and emotion, those are the same thing. So that feeling or emotion will trigger certain thought processes in response to it. A good example with catastrophizing is, if I'm having an anxiety attack, for example, I will then almost go looking for problems because it's like my feelings and my thoughts or environment are not matching up. if I'm panicking internally, there must be a reason for it. So then you go looking for reasons for why that panic is happening, right? Or you might be convinced, especially in the state of anxiety or fear or panic, that something bad must be coming. Again, because when you're having that strong feeling, we're often inclined to go looking for an explanation or a reason for it. And the reality is that sometimes feelings just happen. And they're not always logical. There isn't always, a rational train of thought or progression of experiences or incidents that can really, explain that feeling. I cannot tell you how many times I have literally just been sitting here minding my own business, watching a comedy, and my body decides that we're going to have a panic attack. Unprovoked. Unprovoked. I'm just minding my own business. I'm having a good time. I'm chilling out. And my body's like, oh, you thought that you were going to get to relax? Time for some panic. Right? And of course, it is frustrating. I used to drive myself crazy when my depression was particularly unmanaged, looking for reasons and getting frustrated with myself because it's like, you actually have a pretty good life. Why are you so miserable? What's wrong with you? And this can very much become a self-fulfilling prophecy when you're constantly looking for reasons to be feeling that way. So today, I do challenge and empower all of you to just take some time as you move throughout your day to bring an awareness to some of the emotions that you're experiencing and whether or not they are contributing to any, logical or rational expectations or thought processes that you might be having. And in noticing that connection, just gently remind yourself that your feelings might not actually have anything to do with your thoughts. Or in my experience, sometimes anything to do with the situation that you're even in. Kind of creating that awareness and that space to be able to recognize and acknowledge feelings and thoughts. And that although they can work in conjunction with each other, they are very much separate entities as well. So when I am experiencing, this anxiety, this panic, I do try to just rationally remind myself that, oh, it's an anxiety attack, and it's going to pass. There's no external reason for it. I am unprovoked. But it is here, and I can't really overanalyze it. There's no point, because it is not an emotion or a response that is based in logic, right? Hopefully this helped you today, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Ciao for now.